1. Let's do this. The Cult of Hockey podcast by the faithful, for the faithful. I'm David Staples of the Edmonton Journal, and I'm here today with Bruce McCurdy. Hey, Bruce.
Hey, David. How are you doing tonight?
I like you're close to the camera there. I like that.
Just late night. Yeah, I'm leaning in because I was too short, so I'm
Good stuff.
sitting tall.
Yeah, late night. Late night, Bruce. You got the game grades. I watched the first and the third, and then I went over the grade A chances for the second because in between there I was at my game of my own for my own team. So, and that was a hard fought affair. But this was an interesting game, and let's just get right into it. This is our Two Good Things, Two Bad Things, and Two Numbers podcast on Edmonton's 3-2 win over the Calgary Flames. Is that that's three road games in a row that they won?
Yep. 3-0-0 road trip with no points conceded in 3-point games. The Oilers haven't had a 3-point game all year. It's all regulation.
They're getting it together, eh? They're getting it together.
Finding ways to get her done, David.
What's your good thing, Bruce?
Yeah, lots of good things out of this game. Few bad things, but I'm going to go. We're only going to do one each because of the lateness of the hour. So I'm going to kind of cheat and do three things in one, and credit the entire line of Connor McDavid between Zach Hyman and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, who very much drove Edmonton's offense in this game. And it was a high event game for McDavid, who was on the ice for all 5 goals scored by both teams, earning a goal and 2 assists for Edmonton, but also being something of a defensive culprit on both Calgary goals, as we judged it. A little late to react to Tyson Barrie's problems on the far point on the shorthanded goal, and also beaten a little bit unluckily by a pass out from the end boards that tipped off a guy's skate and passed McDavid and right to the goal scorer. But that was the only 2 defensive mistakes he made all night, whereas he chipped in on 8 grade A chances for the Oilers, and 3 of those wound up in goals. He scored on his only shot, kind of a weird one from the sideboards that somehow managed to discombobulate netminder Jacob Markstrom in Calgary cage, who wasn't ready for that McDavid shot. Otherwise, he was more into the playmaking, but he was setting up Hyman, who had a number of dangerous shots and 2 goals. And RNH, who didn't get a sniff on the score sheet, but had 3 great chances, a couple of robberies by Markstrom, an absolute rocket off the crossbar. And I was thinking, hey, it's not when Markstrom got across to stop Nugent-Hopkins' drive off the shoulder pad when it was 2-1 for Calgary. I was starting to think maybe this is the night that he's going to get the last laugh. But lo and behold, this line found a way to beat him for 2 even strength goals in the third period. And they were really the ones that were driving the offense for Edmonton in this game. I thought the Oilers had a few defensive drivers on other lines and pairings, and obviously in the pipes, but we'll hear about that when we get to your good thing in a minute.
Yeah, well, I guess we're here now. My good thing is
something to add on those guys.
Oh, I actually do. So McDavid chipped on 8 grade A shots. The Oilers only had 9, so that's not a bad night. He was all over their offense, and in total, according to our count of grade A shots, which we do every game through video review, discussion between ourselves, the Flames had 10 grade A shots and the Oilers had 9. But when it comes to the 5-alarm shot category, these are shots that go in more than 30% of the time. Calgary had 8 and the Oilers only had 4. So when you look at the expected goals, like on that kind of shooting, it should have been the other way around. This game should have been 3-2 for the Flames based on the grade A and 5-alarm shot totals. But it's a 3-2 for the Oilers, and it comes down to my good thing, which is the goalies. Stuart Skinner was just again great in net.
Mm-hmm.
He did his little Ken Dryden imitation there. He reminds me of Ken
Nice.
Dryden for some reason, because
Well, that's good.
yeah, that is good, isn't it? I don't know if he's as good as Ken Dryden, but just because he's so tall, he's a tall guy. I mean, all the goalies are tall now. I mean, Dryden towered over almost every other goalie. Maybe Gary Smith in his day was as tall, but he was so tall. Skinner's not the tallest goalie in the league. He's not even close. You know, he's one of the tall trees in net, but he is tall. It's when he flashed his pad, all of a sudden there was one save he made. He made this flashing pad save that I just thought, oh, this huge guy making this pad save, which looked really athletic. And that's that moment I just thought, oh, that reminds me of my favorite player. One of my favorite players as a kid, Ken Dryden. So Bruce, Stuart Skinner now leads the NHL in save percentage. He has a 955 save percentage. And of course, it's early in the season. He's only played in 4 games and he's had just 3 starts. But he nonetheless leads the NHL. And, he's not going to finish at 955, nor is Jake Ottinger in second going to finish at 952 save percentage. They're going to come down to earth. But that's really impressive. That's really, it's been heartening to watch his development as a player. And of course, there's going to be peaks and valleys. There's going to be valleys ahead for Stuart Skinner. We know that. Nonetheless, he got better as a junior hockey player. He came into the pros and was in his first couple of years struggled a bit. And then he got better year after year since then. He got better. He got better last year. He got in the NHL and he was good. And he just looks confident, solid, reliable, quick, good with the puck, square to the shot, everything you kind of want in a goalie. Just like a sense of security when he's in net. And that's really what you want, is that feeling like he ain't going to let in a goal. He's not going to let in a bad goal, that's for sure. Right. If they score, it's going to be a deflection or some weird thing. Mm-hmm. He's going to make all of the expected saves, and that's exactly what he did tonight. Every single shot that was expected that he would save, he saved. And some of the shots that you wouldn't expect him to save, he also saved. Even the shots you don't expect NHL goalies to save, the grade A shots are tough. They're going to go in 25% of the time. He saved most of those. So heck of a performance by Stuart Skinner, and he's going to make it interesting to see who's the number 1 goalie on the Oilers in the next little while. I think it's going to go back and forth all season. If you ask me for my prediction, Campbell's going to get hot for a time and Skinner will be hot for a time, but right now it's Skinner.
Sure is. Your goalie's hot when he lets in 2 goals on 42 shots and his save percentage goes down. But that's where he was. Like he was rolling at 957, and I guess what is he now, 955 or something?
Yeah.
Anyway, he's cooking, and he was cooking with gas tonight. And what I liked best was how he battled back after the goals against. And there's a particular one that kind of lines up with my bad thing, where I thought he basically saved the game for Edmonton. So maybe I'll just jump to my bad thing and we can sort of cover it.
I just want to make one more point.
Sure.
On Markstrom. And I don't want to gloat about how bad Markstrom played, because I know
he good. He made some really good saves.
And he could come back and crush the Oilers in the playoffs. Like, let's not kid ourselves. So I'm not going to. But that goal that he let in, that breaks your back, right? Like, that just breaks the team's back. It's hard to win a game if your goalie lets in a C-grade scoring chance shot. And this is Markstrom's problem. He should never leave the net. Like, he just from what I've seen, maybe against every other team he's good when he leaves the net. Against the Oilers, it's a horror show every time. It's Halloween night. It's, the goblins are running around and bad things happen. So right now, Jack Campbell has an 888 save percentage and Markstrom has a 903 save percentage. So he's not been particularly, that was his first loss of the year though. So there's that. He's like the winning pitcher in baseball who's got 20 wins and a
Right.
earned run average of
4.
3.97 or something like that. Um, anyway, so yeah, that was just the grins on the Oilers' faces, Bruce, when that
Mm-hmm.
puck went. There's nothing like a goal that you don't really earn. Like there's a great goal, like an exhilarating goal, like a player like McDavid scores, where he goes through the whole team. Of course, that's
Right.
the best goal.
Right.
But a goal like that, just the look of joy and happy surprise on all of those Oilers' faces, including McDavid's
Mm-hmm.
after that one that went in, it was priceless because they're not expecting it, and then it's in the net. And it's like, oh, that is so sweet.
Yeah. Well, Flames goalie analyst Kelly Rudy was trying to find reasons for why that went in, and he thought maybe Chris Tanev got a small piece of it on the way by. I watched it a few times. I listened for a deflection, and I didn't hear one. And if he did get it, it was just the barest, tiniest piece of it. But he was just out of position when
Yeah.
he went out to try and field the shoot in, missed it, scrambled back towards his net, and he kind of overskated the crease a little tiny bit. And I also think he maybe misjudged how quickly McDavid was not only going to get to the puck, but could immediately fire it on net. And it went, I think, in between his blocker and his body from like a 8-degree angle. It was way the hell over by the boards down below the hash marks. And he should just never score from there. And Oilers did. And that was certainly a game turning play.
Bruce, let's get your bad thing now.
Okay, well, I'm going to talk about another game-turning play, but it was part of a absolutely horrid sequence for Tyson Barrie, who had a very awful shift on the second period power play,
Oh, geez.
where he was beaten consecutively for a pair of Michael Backlund breakaways on similar plays at the top of the left point, where he quite simply lost a battle to Backlund, who got past him with the puck, went in on a breakaway. And the first time he beat Skinner with a wrist shot in close to the body that Stewart couldn't handle. That made it 1-0 for Calgary. And then about 20 seconds later, same power play, same personnel out on the ice for the Oilers, and the exact same thing happened to Barrie again. And again, Backlund got away. And this time, Barrie, I give him credit, and I give him credit in a couple of ways. Like he busted his ass in this game, I thought. Not effectively, but it wasn't for want of effort. This was anything but a lazy game from Tyson Barrie, in my view. But the results weren't good. And on the second breakaway, he did manage to kind of get a hack in on Backlund, which the referee somehow missed, which worked out well for Edmonton. And he kind of forced Backlund. Instead of shooting, he actually took the puck wide, and then he fed it to Elias Lindholm right on the edge of the crease for what looked like to be a short tap in, and somehow Skinner made that save. I don't know how the hell he got over there and got his pad down on it. Maybe that's the one you were referring to earlier.
Cam Dryden, yeah.
Yeah, where he just came out of nowhere and slammed the door. And it was like 6 seconds later that Edmonton scored to make it 1-1. Like they just came right back up the ice after that save. And it was Draisaitl to McDavid to Hyman to back to McDavid or back to Draisaitl, and it looked like he was going to tap it in. Noah Hannafin saved him the trouble of doing so by making a desperation defensive play and actually deflecting the puck into his own net for an own goal. So Edmonton got a couple of fortuitous bounces in this game, and I think a couple of fortuitous calls, to be honest. And that was one where I thought it was a pretty clear one-handed slash from Barrie on the desperation back check on that one. But Barrie, I mean, that was on the power play, and this was in a weird game, David, where the two power plays between them mustered 4 shots on net and allowed 7. Like, how often do you see the two power plays of the two teams get outshot with the man advantage and breakaways? I think Edmonton yielded 3 breakaways on the power play. But whereas the penalty kill gave up almost nothing, and 1 shot, But So Barrie had his disastrous shift, and he got off just in time. So anyway, he was, I don't think even on the ice. He was not. Bouchard had replaced him by the time they scored that goal. But at even strength, Barrie playing with young Marcus Niemelainen, who looked good at times and overwhelmed at times. Barrie was, the puck was just always in Edmonton's end, or heading fast in that direction. His on-ice shot share at even strength, this was away from this disastrous power play shift, 6-4, 30 against. Shots 4-4, 18 against. And they were just defending. And obviously anyone, Oilers fan, will tell you that's not the strength of Barrie's game. And I'll say again, I thought he battled his butt off. He blocked 4 shots. He made some emergency defensive plays, but they were on the run, him and Niemelainen. And I'll be surprised if they go with just that 2 next game without a 7th teammate again. But I've been surprised before. But I wouldn't be surprised if they changed that up, because those guys were in real deep against a hard forechecking, big, heavy Calgary team. And Barrie was not, he had a few decent moments, but he was mostly shown in other than his best light in this game. And it was a tough night for him, even as he was smiling at the end of the game like his teammates were. So.
That quote from you, Bruce, he busted his ass, but not effective. You say Barrie busted his ass, but not effectively. That's me in every beer league game I've ever played in my life. He really struggled. He's been struggling this year, honestly, on defense. Like he's been leaking a lot of grade A shots against, and a higher rate than he did last year. He was better defensively last year, although he started slow last year. Maybe he'll pick it up. I actually like that they went with. I think these are the great pairings, Bruce. Until Philip Broberry gets healthy, I don't know if he's playing yet on the farm. Till he gets healthy and gets back in the Oilers lineup, which I think is going to happen this year. Niemelainen's earned that job. He's better than Ryan Murray. I think he adds an element that Murray doesn't add, that big physicality, obviously. But I do like Kulak and Bouchard quite a bit, and I think they should stay together as a pairing. So Barrie and Niemelainen is going to be, and they're just going to have to figure it out, see what happens. And boy, Niemelainen had a pretty rough go of it for one stretch, especially in the second period. He
had 2 bad mistakes right in a row that led to
caught on a 2-on-1, and he threw the puck up the boards. He just threw the puck away. He did the old Chris Russell, right? And gets hammered right on net, and there's a rebound that's a very, very dangerous chance. So anyway, we'll see how Niemelainen does. He's I want to see them go with the 60 and go with these pairings for a couple of games. That would be my preference. My bad thing. Well, Zach Hyman could have had a hat trick there, right? That would have been nice.
Yeah.
And so that's my bad thing, that he didn't get one. He is playing great hockey. He's playing outstanding hockey. I bet you Zach Hyman has never played this well before. Maybe in the playoffs last year against Calgary. But man, the Oilers are getting great value for that player. He is just outstanding right now. Every line he's on, he makes better. And it would have been nice to see him rewarded with the empty net goal, but was it Rasmus Andersson who blocked that?
Rasmus Andersson again, yeah.
Yeah. So
the same guy who in the final game of the 2018-19 season, the game that McDavid got hurt by Giordano, that Leon scored his 50th goal, and everybody said, "Oh, that's great, he got his 50th goal." And the commentating crew then immediately turned all their attention to Johnny Gaudreau's 100th point, which he didn't get. Not mentioning the fact that Leon needed one more goal to earn a share of the Rocket Richard trophy, and he had it. In the last minute, he got the puck out, the Oilers were leading, he lobbed one, and Rasmus Andersson swung over his head and batted the puck down out of the air. Just a wild swing at a puck in the neutral zone. rob Draisaitl out of the Rocket Richard Trophy. I've never forgiven him for that. So
Nor
when he
should
did
you.
it again tonight, I was not pleased. I'm
Nor
not a big
should you.
fan of Rasmus Anderson, although I will say that he doesn't quit, and he didn't quit on that Draisaitl shot, nor did he quit on the Hyman one tonight. And he's not my favorite Flame, but credit where due, he made a good play there, and he gave 30 more seconds, but thankfully for Edmonton, most of those 30 seconds were played outside of the Oilers' blue line, because they did, again, second game in a row, great job for protecting the lead at the end.
One thing I'll say about Rasmus Anderson is I hate him less than I hate Mikey Anderson. So there's that, Bruce.
Okay.
Hyman now has 11 points in 9 games.
Mm-hmm.
So Draisaitl 16 points in 9 games, and McDavid 18 points in 9 games. Okay, Bruce, what is your number? Let's move on to numbers.
Yeah. Okay. My number is going to be 0, which is the number of power play goals the Oilers allowed in this game. First time all year that they went through 60 minutes of hockey and did not get burned for a single power play goal. And they did it with class. On a night they allowed 42 shots. They literally allowed 1 shot on Calgary's 3 power plays, one of which was truncated by a Calgary penalty. But still, they did the job. Big part of the reason they did the job was Cody Ceci and Brett Kulak had a fine night on the penalty kill. Leon Draisaitl played almost 2 minutes on the penalty kill, won 4 out of 5 faceoffs, which really helped. And Oilers outshot Calgary during his 2 minutes, 2-1. And they were, I just thought, more in control. And I thought they did a good job. And Calgary's PP didn't ever really get it together, which was in part due to the strong work of the penalty kill. And it's just nice to put a goose egg on the board after 8 straight games of allowing at least 1 power play goal. And in 2 of those games, they actually gave in 2. So there was 10 power play goals against through 8 games. I think that's right. Too many, anyway.
Yeah, too many. Good work. Bruce, my number, it's actually a group of numbers related to the same thing. So what we track major contributions to grade A shots at both at even strength, shorthanded, and on the power play. And at even strength, so what that means is a major contribution is what we're looking for is passes into the slot or plays in the slot that lead to the grade A shot. And sometimes if you could start off in the Oilers' end, and if someone makes a great stretch pass, it starts off a 3-on-2 rush or wins a battle that starts off a 3-on-2 rush, we will count that as a major contribution to a grade A shot because it is. So, we're just trying to use our common sense in judging this. And we've been doing this for more than a decade now. So there's a surprising number. There's a surprising person leading the major contributions to grade A shots at even strength this year for the Oilers. So this is even strength play, and it's Zach Hyman. So I just want to give the numbers from last year, the totals from last year to put this into context. So last year, McDavid had 328 major contributions to grade A shots in his, whatever it was, 82 games that he played. I think he played them all.
At even strength?
At even strength. McDavid, 328. Draisaitl had 281.
Mm-hmm.
Hyman had 198.
Mm-hmm.
So you see there's a pretty big gap there. He's about 100 behind the big guys, more than 100 behind. So far this year, Hyman has 38 in the 9 games. McDavid has 33. Draisaitl has 30. Okay. So Kane and Nugent Hopkins both have 20 each, and Bouchard has 23. So Zach Hyman he's just on fire. And the interesting thing about him, Bruce, is I was surprised by this. He doesn't hit that much. He doesn't have a high hit total. This year at least. Maybe in other years he's had high hit totals, but he's not going in there and clobbering people with big heavy hits. What he does, he goes in there first often and wins the puck and holds the puck.
Yeah,
he's amazing.
Takes the hit rather than makes the hit because he's already got the puck. Yeah.
I'll have to try to look up that stat because I think someone keeps that stat about hits taken,
Yep.
and where
Natural stat trick does.
where he rates on hits taken. Now I don't know how accurate that would be. I'm skeptical of some of the stats in the NHL, and
It's as
hitting
accurate as the hits for because every hit they record who hit who.
who got hit. Yeah, so maybe they have it. Maybe they're getting it right with Hyman. Anyway, he takes punishment. He puck protects. He's so good with the puck, and he's such a smart hockey player. And it's paying off. He's just rocketing along here, and he's leading the team again with offensive production, not necessarily points at even strength. I don't know who has the most even strength points, but he's leading the way so far in helping to create. McDavid has 10 even strength points. Hyman has 8, and Draisaitl has 7. So he's pretty close to the big guys. He's ahead of Draisaitl and just close to McDavid.
Mm-hmm.
All righty,
Yep.
Bruce.
Well, that is a big surprise. I mean, your standard distribution for Oilers on basically any offensive statistics is McDavid number 1, Draisaitl number 2, but pretty close to McDavid, and then a much bigger gap between number 2 and number 3.
Yes.
Which typically might
Unless
be
it's
Nuge or
grade A shots themselves. Like who gets off the most grade A shots is Draisaitl, who's number 1, and goals.
Right.
Draisaitl.
Right.
So, but
he's the shooter. Yes.
Yeah, he's the shooter.
He's
but
the
you're right.
best
It's
passer
McDavid.
in the league, but he's also the shooter.
Yeah, those two guys. It's always those two guys at the top, whatever it is, and there's a huge gap, always. But not right now. Not so far with Hyman in this one statistical category.
Yeah, well, he's been stellar, and tonight he scored on the power play. He scored at even strength. He chipped in on the penalty kill, and he was out there on the 5-on-6 situation, and other times he's out there in the 6-on-5 situation, depending what they need. And the point being that they use and rely on him in all situations.
They are getting their money's worth out of Zach Hyman. Bruce, any final thoughts before you get back to game grades?
Yeah. It's 1:00 in the morning, and I'm still at number 29. Got a ways to go.
Oh, okay. I'll let you.
There we go.
All
but
right.
It's always a lot more of a pleasant task talking about a win over the Calgary Flames. And so many Saturday nights have been miserably spent bemoaning yet another thumping at the hands of the Flames over all these years. How many times have we where the best thing that happened in the 8-1 loss to the Flames was Taylor Hall soaking Dallas Aikens with a water bottle, those are pretty dreary, or have been historically pretty dreary, but now the Oilers are doing well, and they're doing well in Calgary, in the Saddledome. Of course, they won their last 2 playoff games there, and now they won the first regular season game there, and I think the Calgary Flames fans are probably pretty PO'd at about this point, so life is good.
Life is good. It's good to be alive. Alrighty, Bruce. Thanks for talking tonight.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
And in the meantime, and in between times, this has been another edition of the Cult of Hockey podcast.